All right, so for today's Short North podcast, we got lucky enough to get the one and only Scoonie Penn, Ohio State legend, went on to play a lot of ball overseas, came back, and we're lucky enough to have him as the director of player development.
Yes, sir.
At Ohio State now. A notable person in the community, lucky enough to get you today. How are you doing?
I'm good. Blessed to be here, man.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for showing us some love.
Not a problem at all. Not at
Yeah.
all.
So we're going to get right into it. You came from Boston
Yes.
to Ohio State. What made you jump from Boston and come over to Ohio State?
My coach O'Brien that I had at Boston College, was a Boston guy. He got the job here, and then I was basically. It's funny because people always say, "Oh, you came here because of the coach," but people don't know the real story. I came to visit Ohio State as like a courtesy visit. I knew the coaching staff. I knew them very well since I was about 14, 15 years old. They recruited me hard, so it was out of courtesy. But I arrived in Columbus. I had a great visit. I knew this building, the shots team was going to be open in the year I'd be eligible to play. I just had a good feeling. I did. I remember leaving Columbus after my visit, and I was on a plane, and I thought about it. Before I touched back down in Boston, I already decided in my head I was coming to Ohio State. Got home and told my mom, this is what I want to do, and they're calling coach, and the rest is history. But, it's just one of the things where you have a feeling. I was really taking a risk. A lot of people didn't think I made the right decision. I was the hometown kid, had everything rolling.
Right.
I was, all Big East. I won Big East tournament MVP. We won that. I was Big East freshman of the year. So I had a lot going for me. I could have just left and went to the draft.
Right.
But I wanted to be in school. I thought I needed some more. And then visiting Ohio State, it was all that and then some. And then ended up here and then been here ever since.
Yeah, and Ohio State at that point in time was kind of going into a transitional stage.
Yeah.
Our basketball program wasn't the best program at the time, but when you came in, you made such a big impact. I believe it was you and Mike Red, and you guys took us all the way to the Final Four. Tell me about that.
It was one of those things where a lot of people didn't believe what we could do. The coaches, probably most of the players didn't. Myself, I felt different. I really did. We had media day, and I said that we want to go to the tournament. I said I want to make a run at the Final Four. Coach got on me a little bit for saying that publicly, but it's what I felt. I knew I put the work in. I knew I was going to be ready. I watched a young guy like Mike Red lead the Big Ten in scoring. The year before as a freshman, Ken Johnson was going to be better. Had Jason Singleton and Sean Coleman, who were very good role players and leaders. A good core, young guys coming in. I was shooting for the sky. I was very confident in my ability and to help lead this team and what I could do on the court, and I thought it'd be enough to get us over the top. It worked out. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
But we worked hard leading up to it. We got in the season. We had little bumps in the road, but for the most part, we worked and we earned everything we received. We did.
Yeah, definitely did. And I do believe in luck, but with a jumper like yours, it was a lot more than luck.
I put a lot of work in, man. That's one thing that goes unnoticed, and that's why I think anyone who does something in their profession, even outside of sports, I'm talking. People work hard at it. You don't see the work that's done behind closed doors.
Right.
You don't see when people are sleeping what you're doing early in the morning or late at night. People don't see that when they're out partying and having a good time, the work you're putting in. And that was just always my mindset. I did it the year I sat out, and I've always done it when I was a player. I was coming to the gym in the middle of the night here shooting the ball because, I felt like I always wanted to get better. I'm not saying I had my fun. I had my fun in college probably more than anyone else. But at the same time, I put probably more work in than anyone else as well. So you had to find that balance. And if you're willing to put that work in, it's going to be rewarding. It never hurt anyone. And that's just that's always my approach. That's how I took it. And guys followed. And I think that was a lot to our success.
Now, I've noticed in a lot of the teams that you played for, you were kind of in a leadership position. A lot of them said that they looked to you as a leader. Yeah. Was that by design, or was that by default?
I guess it was by design. I guess by my design. I guess it's the personality that I have. I guess it's the individual that I am. I'm not saying I wasn't raised as a follower, but I definitely know how to follow good leaders. I had to learn from somewhere. But when it came to this sport here, or just anything in general, I think I'm that kind of person that definitely wants to lead. I put that work in. I think I am knowledgeable about the things that I do. And I found it as I got older that most people aren't built to be leaders. I think everyone has leadership qualities and have the capabilities of doing so, but a lot of people don't want that pressure. I think it's something that I thrived on, and I always have, because at the end of the day, things can be pointed at you if it don't go right. Yeah, you get a lot of the publicity and a lot of the praise, but can you handle that pressure on your back? And I think I've always looked at pressure dead in the eyes and dealt with it. And when you're in team aspect, I think people sense that at an early stage, and they're willing to follow and let you lead. So as much as I feel I have good leadership qualities, I've been around good people who didn't mind letting me lead. If that makes any sense. But
No,
my teammates always been that way, and I've thrived on and took it around.
Do you think being from the East Coast kind of helped you get a thicker skin?
Definitely. If you spend time on the East Coast, my family's all from New York City. I was born there, then my mom moved to Boston when I was young.
Okay.
It's just different. It really is.
It's a mentality.
It's a different mentality. I remember when I got to Columbus, walking around High Street, being on campus, being around Columbus, people was walking by saying hello. And I was caught off guard. Like I would say hello like at a delayed response.
Right.
Because I was accustomed to when you walk down the street, people have your hood on, your hoodie on, you have your headphones on, you walking down the street with your head down, and you don't really speak to too many people. It's a little bit colder.
Right.
So you have to learn to adapt a little bit, but just that grit, that hunger, that I don't know, that East Coast swag, that stuff we come from, it was different than Midwest. And when I came here, I had to make an adjustment to realize where I am. And I think it helped a little bit. I do. I really think it helped a little bit.
Now, being a shorter player in a game that's ruled pretty much by tall people, how was that? You always had to go against people like taller, a little bit bigger, but somehow, some way, you still made it work.
It was never an issue for me. It's always gonna be an issue for the outside people. People are gonna make comments on it, size, this, that, and the third. To this day, they do it. But it never was an issue for me. I always felt like I had an advantage. I never had a short man's complex, nothing like that. My friends are always real tall. Being on basketball teams all the time, I didn't think like that. But I always felt like my toughness, it makes up for, someone being 6'6", 6'7".
Right.
The work I'm gonna put in, how hard I'm gonna play, it works out. And then I always looked at a guy like Isaiah Thomas, who at 6'1", 6 foot, wasn't considered really big. He was always my favorite player to watch, and I always paid attention to point guards. It really wasn't that big of a deal with tall point guards until Magic changed the game. If you think about it, most point guards even back in the day were 6 foot, under 6 foot. But Magic changed the game, and everyone thinks you needed a tall point guard. But you're right, though. It is a tough game. It's size is king. But if you know how to use your size or your ability, whatever size it is, it makes up for it, and that's just what I always done.
Yeah, and you use that so much to an advantage. You were awarded. I can't think of the award, but
it was the something Pomeranian Award, most valuable player under 6 feet. Yeah,
right.
I did get it. It was funny because when I was given that award, I was kind of caught off guard. I knew it was out there, but I didn't think nothing of it.
Right.
I'm more concerned with being Big Ten Player of the Year, All-American, stuff like that. You don't think about that award. But it was cool to receive that award. Then I think your jersey or something gets put into into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
Winning that award.
Now, were you nominated for that, or they just called you and told you, like, hey, you won this?
I think you're nominated, but I ended up winning. Yeah, I think it's just like any other award. It's broken down through different parts of the season. So there might be 20 guys on the list. Get halfway through the season, goes to 10, so on and so forth. At the end of the day, it was my reward to win.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Now, along with that, when you were overseas, you received a myriad of awards. Over there. How was your time overseas?
It was good. I was lucky enough to go overseas while I was in college. I had traveled to play for the USA team, under 22.
And you got a medal for that too,
Yeah,
right?
we got gold. We won that, yep, in Palma, Mallorca, Spain. I went on different select teams, go to Europe. So I was accustomed to going over there, understand a little bit of the culture, the life, but actually living there was something totally different. I had a great time. It was, most people struggle because you worry about being here in the States in the NBA and you lose track of what you're doing. When I settled in, I said, you know what, I'm able to make a lot of money by playing basketball. Like, how many people got to get up and go work a 9 to 5 and do things they don't want to do?
Yeah.
I'm playing basketball. This is my job, but this isn't a job for me. I would do this if you weren't paying me. So you're gonna pay me and I still get to play ball? I was in a win-win situation. I think I caused a lot of noise over there. I was on good teams. I won a lot. I won a lot of awards. I had billboards in cities.
Yeah, I heard you were
I had
a superstar.
I had it all. I played well. I had my chance to come back to the States. I did. But at that age, being 25, 26 years old, I said, well, do I want to go to the league and be 9th, 10th, 11th man? Or do I stay in Europe where I'm the one? And I get a team to lead, and our crowd is 13, 14,000 people, and, we play on TV, and
Yeah.
it was good. My kids got to go to school internationally. My family got to see different parts of the world that they're so cultured. And for someone like me, and we grow up and our families don't really take us that many places, we don't know a lot of those things. To be able to afford that to my family at a young age was priceless. So I enjoyed the experience. I really did. It was great. Got a lot of good friends over there. I would love to make a trip during the basketball season, but it's hard with my job being in basketball.
Right.
But I've met a lot of good people and had a lot of good times.
Did you pick up any other languages?
I did. Italian was kind of easy because I knew Spanish, a lot. My high school was really diverse. The coach, my first coach I had when I was in Italy, my first year, he couldn't speak any English. He would just speak Italian the whole time, yelling Italian and everything.
Did you have an interpreter? Or?
Well, there was another assistant who kind of knew a little bit of English, but his English was broke. So I couldn't understand him either. But some of my teammates were Italian Americans, and some of the Italians knew a little bit. But it was easy because the correlation between, in basketball, the basketball terms is easy.
Right.
When you speak Italian, talking about basketball, I can pick it up. We got probably a month into it, and I was able to understand him.
Really?
I was able to understand him. I kind of knew what he had to say. I picked up on it kind of quick. It was really easy because this is what he hit me with. When the game got tight, all he did was call me to the sideline, and he would say, okay, now go. Now that means go ahead and take the game over. Just do what you got to do. So it was pretty easy, playing in different countries. Again, basketball is universal, so it was easy. Playing in Istanbul, in Greece, my coaches spoke English. All my teammates spoke English, everything. So the language barrier isn't that big of a deal in Europe, especially when you're playing sports.
Now, did that pressure ever get to you when your coach just come to you like, hey, get out there and do it?
No, it wasn't getting to me. It was about time. Like, just let me do what I can do.
Yeah.
But it's what you expect, especially being the American on a European team. They look at you for those kind of things. I had a rude awakening my very first year playing in games, and I'm getting fouled, I'm getting hacked all the time, and if I touch a guy, they blow the whistle on me. And I remember this game so clearly. I'm going to the basket, I'm just getting hacked all the time, and they're not blowing a whistle for me. And I make a move and bump the guy, they call a charge. I'm like, ref, I'm cussing the ref out, I'm going crazy. So there was a timeout, so everyone's walking to the bench. And I said to the ref, yo, ref, they're fouling, why are you not calling it? He said to me, you're an American, you're supposed to be better. So I said, okay, wow. I got it.
Okay.
I get it, because I'm American, I'm a black American, you figure this is our sport, that they're allowed to do X, Y, and Z to me, but I'm not, and I'm supposed to be better because I'm stronger, more athletic,
right? And
I got to play through it. So I'm glad that he said that to me. It's a valuable lesson, and I took that on for the rest of my career, and I understood, and it made me better for hearing that.
Is the ball play different in Europe than it is in the States?
A little bit, a little less. Like they're very skilled. A lot of practice time. They shrink the court with the rules a little bit. Very skilled players. Like here in the States, it's more athleticism, play above the rim. They are very strategic. Everyone can shoot, pass, dribble, a lot of game planning. But for me, it was great. You know, it fit right into me, like coming from college and understand the point guard position. I was able to mix from here and there and put it together, and I think that's what helped me out tremendously.
Okay. Now, how early did you get started with basketball, and was that the first sport you got into, or?
I played basketball at a very young age, but I was more of a football player.
Okay.
If I grew up here in Ohio, I would have took my football scholarships. I like football probably more than basketball.
How late did you play football?
I stopped in high school. I got recruited by a lot of schools. I got recruited by a lot of D1 schools to do both. But I chose to do basketball instead. But like I said, I think if I was here in the Midwest, I probably would have been more football. I love football. I grew up watching Tony Dorsett, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders. I was a running back, but I love the cornerback position. I was rushing for over 1,500 yards. I could do everything on the football field, just be athletic and just play wild. And then I remember getting hit a lot. People say, I'm taking off for basketball season. But I was at a good school for basketball as well.
Is that Salem?
Yeah, Salem High School was good. I lost 7 games in 4 years.
That's it?
That's it. And that school itself, in 8 years, was a total of, I think, 14 losses, a bunch of state championships. We won all the conferences. We did everything. Wow. Nationally ranked in the country. It was a fun time. And I think because of that, it steered me away from football a little bit. But also, the football was big, but it just wasn't. It's not Ohio football. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different. But I just love playing ball, and when it came down to it, I was like, I want to go to college and play basketball. But playing basketball at the Boys Club at a young age, I played bitty basketball. I really didn't get really into basketball until I was probably 7th grade. But I always played. It was a different time. I played basketball, football, baseball. We did all the sports every season.
Any track in there? Anything like that?
I never did track and field. I thought track and field for us was having races on our block. That was track and field for us. Get on the street and we're gonna see who's the fastest. But it's something said for the East Coast. It felt like there was more parks. We knew we can go to parks in different areas of the city and we can hoop. We can find places to play ball. Those people there playing and we were gonna hoop. And that's what we did, and I think that's more of an East Coast thing, with the concrete and you playing on the blacktop.
Okay. Now, with all of that energy toward basketball, football, and all the sports that you have played, now that you've kind of gotten into golf, how do you take that dominance from those sports and get it out there on the golf course?
That's one of my advantages. And golf takes your athleticism away. It puts everyone on the same playing field.
Yeah, it's more of a
until you get the technique.
Yeah.
But when you get the technique and you put your athleticism and your competitive nature with it, it takes you to another level. That's why when I started to play the game and I learned, I was like, I see why Tiger's so much better than everyone else. Tiger's an athlete. I think most guys that play golf, I think a little different now. More guys are better athletes. Man, these guys aren't going to school on athletic scholarships and playing. They got to play golf. They're not. You can't put them on a basketball court and they're not going to blow by people. They're not going to be dunking. Football, they're not going to run anyone over. But golf, they can learn technique and play it. But now you start taking athletes and put them in golf. Now the game has changed.
Yeah.
So once I learned how to swing and I got the technique and I learned the game a little bit, just my pure athleticism, I think, helped me. It helped me along faster than just the average person. And so I've had some lessons, and people I play with that I've been playing for years, so I picked it up really quick, like a lot of athletes do. Why? Because we play sports where you have to have good eye-hand coordination.
Right.
That our training to where, like, my torque and swing is fast. Why? Because, I'm used to lifting. I'm used to changing direction and jumping and all this stuff. So you take that and you put it into golf, it's a good thing. But like I said, the competitive part, that's the part that I had to learn to tame a little bit. Because the emotion gets going, you get too high, too low, you're going to keep hitting the ball in the water, hitting the woods.
Right.
Golfing's a mental sport. For me, it calms me. It does. I'm still not there yet, because I still get rattled, I still get pissed off. But I love it. I'm not worried about blowing my knee out or something crazy. So I absolutely love it. If I could golf every day, I would.
Do you have you done any charity golf outings?
Yes, too many.
Too many.
Not too many meaning charity wise, but it occupies a lot of time.
Right.
some summers ago, I probably did like 20 golf outings
In
summer.
one summer?
All the time.
Oh, wow.
But every year I've toned it down a little bit. You know, this year I probably do about 4 or 5. It's just, you know, as much as I want to do that, I got a job to do.
Right.
And to do that, it's, you know, a whole day. And most of the time on Mondays, and on Mondays we have staff meetings and things like that. But yeah, anytime I can get out and get back to the community and get involved, without a thought, I'm going to do it.
So, with that in mind, giving back to the community, you have some charities and some things that you're working with now, correct?
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about that.
So I will be going on a Buckeye Cruise for Cancer now for 9 years. And the first year I went, I was really taken back by it. I said, how can I give back? How can I get involved? And I thought, cornhole. I play a little bit. I'm not that good. I see people playing it during football season and all.
Mm-hmm. But
So
you
I went
took that
to-
competitive nature.
Exactly. And I asked a couple of my boys, like, yeah, what do y'all think about a cornhole tournament? They were like, we're down. So I contacted Lisa Cisco, who runs the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer, and I said, what do you think about me having a charity event, a Corner for Cancer tournament? And she said yes. We ran with it. We're over probably 400,000 raised by doing it.
Wow.
It's fun. People love it. It's simple, you know, because it's not like a golf outing or something basketball-wise. People athletic, it takes time. No, here, if you can toss a bag,
Right, you're good
you
to
can
go.
play.
Yeah.
So we get all kind of people from all walks of life in our tournament, which we'll have here July 24th at Lucky's in Hilliard.
Okay. I know exactly where that's at.
But yeah, so it's been a fun thing. It's been good to be a part of it. For many years, I did a food drive for Thanksgiving, and what I did was I held it at the rec centers in the city.
Okay.
And Giant Eagle was a partner, so where they would provide the turkeys and meals, and I would contact the rec centers to find out what families are in need, and then we'd go there and provide them and give them food to have for Thanksgiving. It's just, you know, and I brought my kids to be involved. You know, my wife had them do stuff for Christmas. You know, because I come from a place where if there wasn't people to help me, then I don't know where I would be. So giving back is just, it's second nature. And everyone's not like that, but
Yes.
it's always been a thing for me. I like mentoring, you know, young kids. I love going to Boys Club and rec centers and things like that, interacting with the kids because it's important. Because I was that kid that said, you know what, you know, when I seen someone who done something positive in the community, or you see on TV or something like that, when they came and spoke, you know, I was listening. You know, it was like, yo, whatever he or she did to get out of here, that's what I want to do. And you know, a lot of time kids need hope, and I was a kid that needed hope, and people in front of me gave me hope, and it helped me progress as a young man into an adult, into, you know, the life that I was able to live. And I just want to give other kids that opportunity. So, you know, giving back, especially when it comes to kids, is big.
Very nice. Now, with your job, what all does that entail now? That you're the director of player development.
Yeah.
What does that job entail?
Man, a lot of things the NCAA will not let me do. That's what it does. No, but you know, my role, you know, with this program, you know, being a former player for the program, you know, I think I bring something to the table that, you know, my relationship with the players are really good.
Right.
I get to be big brother, mentor.
And the guy that's been there,
Yeah, it's been there.
You probably know exactly what they're facing on a day-to-day basis.
So it's just, you know, on the court stuff. We work with off the court stuff. You know, I deal with a lot with the guys. We deal with academics, and that's part of my description. Academics. I do stuff with recruiting wise. Watch a lot of film on kids who are recruiting. Our own guys. Practice. Watch a lot of tendencies. I'm charting a lot of stuff that we do during practice. You know, so coach can have it, and we can, you know, figure out where our players are at, what they're good at, what they're not good at, what we need to improve on as a team. So, you know, my position lets me touch the program in all different ways. But part of it is I get to be involved in guys a lot. You know, it's powerful. And, you know, working for a guy like Coach Holtman is great because Coach understands the value of it, of having a guy like myself who was here, who's been in the trenches, understand.
Right.
A lot of times you might have a program where, you know, you have, you know, great coaches, but your coaches didn't play on this level. And it's
So
one
they
thing to
really
watch film
not-
and everything, yes, but it's another
Yeah.
thing to have people around that have the feel. You know, and you can look and be like, yo, so when you was in a situation, how'd you feel? How'd you deal with it? So, you know, being in that position, I can go to the guys with credibility and say, hey, X, Y, and Z. And I think I have the respect of them. And we have great guys, we do. I think we recruit the right way. We have good guys, and, you know, I love being a part of the program. You know,
Was it hard to make the decision to come and work for Ohio State when you had so many other things going on as far as with the news and I mean your celebrity? I'm sure there are a lot of things you could be doing.
It wasn't too tough because I knew at some point I wanted to get into coaching. I wanted to be involved with the program. I waited for my kids to get a little bit older, and then, you know, Fat Mata had been released, and you know, because I had talked to Fat about it, you know, over the years, and I just thought like this right now was a good timing. With the program going through its changes and things like that, I thought I could really help. So it all just kind of worked out in good fashion. But no, I am where I'm supposed to be. You know, the other things I like doing, but being involved in basketball, I love doing. Like, this is not work. When I have to get up and come in this building every day, it's not work. This is, you know, what I've been doing my whole life, being around basketball. Though I'm not playing, it's something I have to deal with basketball. That's what we want in life, to where your job doesn't feel like work. And I think I have that, you know, being a part of the program.
Now, being such a big star, not from Ohio, but at Ohio State now, were you kind of surprised at the love that you got and how well you were embraced?
Yeah, definitely. Again, not understanding what Columbus is about, the state of Ohio is about, but you learn quick what Ohio State's about, and you can understand why. You know, coming from where I come from, it's about pros. You know, you can be great in college, but you have to compete with the Celtics, the Red Sox, the Bruins, the Patriots. That's tough to compete with when you come from pro cities. This is not a pro town. This is a college town.
Yeah,
I don't care how great the Blue Jackets are. The Blue Jackets are never going to be the Buckeyes.
That is true.
The Crew is never going to be the Buckeyes. So in this state, Ohio State is king. And, you know, the love you get, especially if you do the right things. You know, and I try to carry myself the right way. You know, I think on the court is one thing. People will like what you do, they'll love how you play and things like that. But if you handle your business off the court as well, then that's when you have the great explosion. I've been able to do that just because of how I am, my personality. Like you said, getting into community, stuff like that. It goes a long way. And it wasn't done by design. It was done just because that's who I am. That's the kind of person I was raised to be. And, you know, just my giving back is I think it's big. That's part of who I am, and what I want to do is always give back.
Do you think it's kind of harder to impart that in the kids now with this whole social media era?
Well, yes and no, because I think these guys know right from wrong.
Yeah, and I think Ohio State does a really good job of recruiting kids that aren't going to be a problem anyway.
For sure, but I think it goes back to what we spoke about early on, leadership. I mean, if you're a leader, you're that kind of individual, then you know that you don't want to jeopardize not only yourself, you don't want to put a bad name on your family, you don't want a bad name on your school. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you're not going to do those things. And then if you are that guy, well, if I see my guys doing it, I got to get them and say, come on, let's go. You know, that's the teammate stuff. That's the family atmosphere you have. That's the leadership qualities that you want when you recruit guys. Guys that are able to be like, no, I'm not doing that. But guess what? You come with me. Let's go. Let's get out of here. You know, or hey, don't be on here filming that. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot. And I understand the times change. There's a lot more kids can get into. I mean, with the mere fact of the telephone, it changes the game. But we educate our students on it. You know, they know how to handle their phone. They should know how to handle their phone. You know, in situation with, you know, with females, different things like that. You just put your phone down. You don't have to tweet everything. You don't have to take a picture of everything. And be mindful that everything you do, there's cameras everywhere. So understanding this, make sure you carry yourself where you're representing not only yourself, your family, but your university at a high standard.
Very nice. All right, everybody, we're back. We just had a great interview with Scoonie Penn, one of Ohio State's finest players to come out. Now he's the director of player development, and he is still here helping us out at Ohio State. Scoonie, if people want to get in contact with you or kind of follow your story, follow some of the stuff that you're doing as far as your charities, how would they get in contact with you?
Pretty simple. Scoonie P12. That's SCOONIE, letter P12. Use that for all my social media. I do my social media at times. I like doing Twitter during the basketball, especially.
Okay.
I get a lot of Twitter beefs, but they're good stuff though. I love the back and forth with it. But no, yeah, on there I make sure I post a lot of stuff that I'm involved in, things that are coming up, things that's going on with our program. Just keep people in tune. You know what's going on.
Looking to the future, is there anything else we should be looking out there for you?
Not at this moment.
Got a big golf season coming up.
Yeah, somewhat, but you know that's that's my leisure time.
Okay.
Oh yeah, for anybody listening, you want a haircut? 12th Avenue, my barbershop. It's called 12 on 12.
It's funny that you brought that
12 on
up.
12.
This kid said something about that today. He's a football player for Ohio State, and I thought he just meant he was at a barbershop and you were there.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, we were at Scoonie's shop.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a barbershop here on 12th Avenue. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It's because I would always get my hair cut. And I was like, barbershop is a place I would go and hang out. And the opportunity presented itself. And it's kind of cool. It's called 12 on 12. Reason being is the building number is 12. It's on 12th Ave, and I wore number 12. So everything is 12.
Right.
And so we have on Wednesday, we have a $12 Wednesday. Which is great. All cuts are $12. Basic cuts $12, and it's good for the students. We get a lot of traffic. A lot of people come get their hair cut. We have really good barbers in there. So, I know people go to Super Clips and Great Clips, but that's if you want a easy, cheap cut.
Right, a budget cut.
Yeah, but no, you come in here, we're gonna make sure you fresh. You can come in and we have word challenges. We do different fun stuff in there.
Okay.
Got a Mortal Kombat game. So guys, we're gonna play Mortal Kombat. We're gonna have, when school comes back, we're gonna have a tournament, a Mortal Kombat tournament.
Okay.
We'll have prizes and everything like that. I have the Miss Pac-Man Gallagher game in the corner to play. I'm my old school, so that's what I like to play.
Right.
We just kind of spice it up a little bit. A lot of dialogue, a lot of sports talk in there. If you look around, a lot of pictures of Ohio State guys on the wall and things like that. So it's cool. It's cool. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. I'll make sure to check that out. I get lined up every week, and
you gotta stay fresh, man.
Yeah. Well, Scoonie Penn, it was a pleasure to talk to you today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate everything. Everybody, Short North Podcast, LaFine Print. We out.
What's up, dude? I appreciate that so much.